Welcome back to the Dota 2 International Western Qualifiers. It sounds better when I say it. Next to me I have weapons now, because James will be commentating with Andy, which will go in a second. But now, have you next to me, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
How
First game was a complete upset, in my opinion at least. I mean, when I went into it and watched it, I still felt like Roxas should take that 2-0. But AL making an upset, so we got a really good start though. I mean, if we're gonna have these kind of games the whole tournament, it's gonna be really nice.
Exactly. And speaking of upsets, we're going for DD Empire. Which do you think is a favorite team for this matchup?
That's so hard because DD is such... You never know what's gonna come out of DD. That's the thing. Like, they have Goblak and they got fucking Mad, who's drafting. It's like, what are they actually gonna pick? And then you got Empire, who you don't actually know if they're gonna go for something special or how strong they're gonna be with Mitch and Twista, which is still kind of to be seen. But I'd say I'd favor DD in this position though.
Okay.
But we'll have to wait and see for sure.
We'll see. And we're moving quickly, of course, because we are a little bit behind schedule. So we'll go to introduce the teams straight away. Right there. So we have for Empire, Blow Your Brain, not Blow Your B. What B? It's interesting. Blow Your B. Playing as a carry, of course. Candle, the mid player. Now back to the mid lane where he's really, really good. Light of He in the off lane. Mitch and Twista, the supports. For the side of DD.Dota.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. It's like newsflash for me. Mind is blown, you know?
That's crazy. They don't wear the same
they
clothes.
They really look similar to each other.
I mean, that's two different pictures as well. You know that, right?
Yeah, of
they're
course.
twins.
Yeah, they're twins.
That's just uncanny.
That's amazing.
Huh.
And they separated at birth, one in... Wow.
Holy shit.
Suddenly, real Twista. Okay, moving on. For DD.Dota, we have Silent playing carry, Funzy playing the mid position, Seven King Mad, or fucking Mad as you like to call him, playing the off lane, Soshka and Govlak on the supports. So that's it for DD.Dota, and we're going to talk a little bit about a head-to-head while the game starts. We're going to talk about these two teams in particular.
Someone left. We just about.
That's.
I think the game started. Yeah, it's really laggy. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to remake the game. Cool.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, just keep going. Yeah,
you asked us to start the game, and as soon as he clicked start game,
Yeah.
one player left from DD. So we've got a remake now.
Okay, it's fine. So we have Empire and DD.Dota, two teams that have been playing for quite a while. Of course, DD.Dota previously was a different team. It was Danish Dynamite with lots of players that are now in AL. But the name carried on, and then they changed the name to Davai Davai
something.
They changed it every single match. It was really funny. But DD.Dota, 221 games, a 56% win record, 3 wins in the last 5 matches. So coming out pretty decent. Empire, on the other hand, even if they have a 65 winning record, which is higher than 286 games, they're not in the best of forms. They have 2 lost games and 1 win. And of course, I think the big thing about this matchup is how many roster changes happened recently, which is Empire recently acquired Light of Heaven, Mitch and Twista, and DD.Dota acquired Govlak and Silent. And this is interesting because Govlak and Silent, where did they play before?
Yeah, they played on Empire, so it's kind of a grudge match in my opinion at least, because now it's really going to show that is Twista and Mitch going to be better for Empire than Goblak and Silent was? Or
if we put Light of Heaven into the mix as well.
Yeah, of course. Or is DD going to be better when they have Goblak and Silent together with the franchise, going to be better than Empire and be better than what Empire was with Goblak and Silent? So that's going to be the big question going into this, to see which team will be the strongest with these roster changes.
Yes, and of course, there we go. It looks better. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about some more stats because the game is being remade. So, Trans, just click a random stats button and I will talk about it.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Except the one that says tournament. Player information. We have Govlak. Look how sad he looks. He's like very concentrated and sad.
Focused.
Focus. I say sad, not focus. It's like, oh. Govlak has... Normally we see him playing the support. But he has played various positions during his lifetime. We've seen him even playing heroes like Klinks and Temple Assassin, and this is actually to my surprise, but yeah, there used to be a time, a long time ago in Empire, where he actually rotated, they changed positions before Scandal even was in the team.
Yeah, that was quite a long time
Quite a
ago, though,
long
because
time ago.
wasn't
Oh, sorry, it was,
Scandal
no, it was Darer. They were,
yeah, it must have been there,
yeah,
right?
they
yeah,
did
because
that in
Scandal and
there.
Blow Your Brain,
Yeah,
wasn't they
exactly.
kind of the core of Empire from
Yeah.
the start
Exactly.
in Dota 2? So yeah, it must have been there. But yeah, seeing TA and Clinks there,
So yeah,
Kinda
I
surprising.
don't think they will. I think from these heroes that he has here, the most likely we'll be able to see him play is Leshrac, and I see Andy throwing his hands in the air.
Well,
so.
basically what's happening is,
Okay.
you know,
Steam is
Steam-
having problems.
Yeah, Steam is playing games with us of its own. Currently, I'm in a really nice game with lots of people. Andy, who created the game, is in the lobby with himself. And when Scriff joins Broadcaster Slot 1, he gets put in the second position of Broadcaster Slot 1, but there's no one in first position in our lobby, but that's where Andy is on his screen. So I think you need to leave.
Well, the thing is, I'm the one who's supposed to be hosting the game anyway, so
Yeah.
everyone else should join my game, and then we can maybe have everyone in the same game.
So we need
So
to go to
we need
your...
to join
Yeah,
the
it's-
other one.
it's
Yeah, because
important
the
that
lobby
Andy-
was so laggy, because Steam was having issues, that we couldn't actually get Scriff and Broadcast to slot 1 because the message would time out. So he couldn't change slots, which means that I need to vacate this spot, and hopefully this lobby isn't quite as bad. But yeah,
This is our on-site
It's
admin,
like-
by the way. Come on, camera,
Come on,
on-site
yeah,
admin.
come say hi.
This is Styjo. He's wearing a wife beater, and he's not afraid to lay down the law. Isn't that right, Styjo? You do it at home?
Yeah,
You lay down the law at the house?
absolutely.
Yeah, at work?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing great.
No mercy.
Right. Well, you're hogging a lot of camera time now, Styjo. You're just an admin. So, yeah. Get upstairs and get the people in the game, Styge. For those who don't know Styjo, he's one of DreamHack's head admins for their tournaments. So
Yep.
he came over to the house and he's here all week. So he's going to be making sure everything goes smooth.
Smooth.
And we're in this game now. Blow Your Brains just joined. We're all in our broadcaster slot, so that's okay. And if you do want to find us on Dota TV as well, you can just look for in-game camera director is the good studio. So once everybody gets in, hopefully we'll get a smoother start. So
Yep. Mingos
hopefully.
wants to be
I
in the
mean-
lobby.
I want to talk a little bit more. Uh-oh. Mingles. Mingles is trying to eat
Mingles
various
needs to be
things.
thrown out because people
Yeah.
have left food out on the tables. Look at that. You see the little tail? That tail is on the move for food. There it goes.
Come Mingos.
She's on the scout.
She's looking for something.
oh, papa.
Yeah, she
Don't
found
even
it.
try to
She
get-
found it. Keep your food with you at all times.
Yep.
That's what I have Scriff for. He defends my food for me.
Yeah,
And I
it's-
swear we feed her a lot.
Yeah, we
Because
do.
she eats a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We gotta take her to that.
People will say...
Yeah, okay. So just waiting for the players to join now. We got a couple of them in. And remember, this is going to be the same match in terms of what you just saw. It means the same. We can bring out the brackets just to take a look at what's happening. We got Rock's Kiss finished off. Finished their game versus AL. AL obviously took the victory there. Now, what's interesting about these groups and what's great about these groups as well, there's no matches are redundant. But there is a position which you might feel very comfortable in, which is actually very scary. The fact is that DD and Empire, one of them will go and play Absolute Legends. Now, if we already considered Absolute Legends a bit of an underdog to the group, okay, sure, they won a game. You know, they're a really important game. But if they lose that match, they just drop down to the lower bracket, and they'll be waiting for the winner of Rock's Kiss versus the loser of DD versus Empire. So they could play Rock's Kiss again, and they could play a DD Empire if they lose. And if they lose that game, they're out of the tournament. So the one win, it puts you in kind of like pole position to get out of the group. Because you're like, right, we've got one match left. You know, we can get out of the group.
Yeah.
If you lose it, you're like, holy shit. Because you win your first game, that's great. But you might end up playing Roxas again, or, yeah, as I mentioned, either DD or Empire. And I think Absolute Legends want a sprint finish to the end of the day. They definitely want to get out of their group. So currently we're just waiting on one player from Empire. We've got Styja, the admin in. We've got Neo, Dota. We've got Vlatin as well. We're just waiting on actually Join Dota to get in. So we'll see when they come.
Yeah, I think everything's actually starting to like unchoke. I don't know what was wrong with the Steam servers, but for like 5-10 minutes right there, they were just like not responsive at
Yeah,
all.
we couldn't get in.
Everything was all messed up. But I wanted to mention one thing really quick about Empire is kind of, I feel, in the same position that AL was when it was AL versus Rock's Kiss, and that people maybe think that they're the underdogs. But if you think about it, when Empire were starting to fall apart in terms of their team play, it was because of two major factors, in my opinion. One, Vigas maybe not the greatest mid, and two, because Scandal actually had to go to a role that he was so not used to playing. But now they have Light of Heaven, obviously an accomplished offlaner. Don't really think there's much else to say there. Scandal makes his return to mid. The supports, Godblack and Silent, were always good at Empire. There's no question about that. But really, when they fell apart was when people like Scandal couldn't shine, and now they have the opportunity to do that again.
Yeah, it's definitely a match which is very, like, the outcome is very unknown. I still think, from reputation, from rumors, I've heard DD are playing great, Empire so-so.
Yeah.
But on the day, you know, when you've got someone as experienced of Light of Heaven in your team, it's like that changes everything in a tournament matchup. It's just like Na'Vi. It's like you didn't expect him to come second place at the International 2, but just the experience they have and how they can play as a team when it comes to, you know, just the big matches, they perform great. So they've got a little bit of that with Light of Heaven, and I think that's very scary for DD. So we'll see how it goes. Still going to favor DD. Wouldn't be surprised if Empire will win. I wonder how much knowledge Empire have on DD's kind of drafting, though, because I think Wepa said it best. It's like, fucking mad drafting. You know, with Godblack and, you know, fucking mad being, you know, basically two people that are very influential in the draft. That's you know they've got stuff ready for this game, and our Empire ready for it? Because we wouldn't get to know. So it looks like everybody's in. Twister says he's ready. Just going to ask DD. Yeah, they're ready as well. So we're going to get into the game. So it's going to be the second best of three, or the second kind of semi-finals of the upper bracket. And we're just going to get straight into the game and take it away.
Super quickly. Who wins?
Who wins? Me? I think Empire 2-1.
Empire 2-1. You?
I think DD.
2-1, 2-0.
Well, you didn't ask me that. You said who wins.
Well, I'm asking you now, James.
2-0.
Okay, 2-0 DD. Wapas?
DD 2-1, I'd say.
DD 2-1. I asked the people, and the people favor Empire 2-1, but also the second favor is very close, just with 14 less votes than that, is DD 2-0. So it's either
That's me
Empire
and you, man.
really close.
Wepaz is the minority. We're the majority here.
You are a minority, Wapas.
Okay, so we're in the bands and picks already.
Yep.
Let's go into the game.
Looking forward to this one.
It should be a really good game, honestly. The thing that's exciting for me is I haven't seen DD play so much recently. I mean, honestly, Empire probably know more about them than we do at this point, because a lot of their practice has just been scrims, like we were saying. So there's a good chance that Empire already know what they could be bringing to bear here in this best of three. But I still think that Empire, they're being given the opportunity to really show that they're still a top-class team. They have the perfect setup now. They can Light of Heaven on the offlane. Scandal can go back mid. Widely considered one of the best European mids pretty much for a very, very long time. And when Empire had Vigas mid, it just felt like there was one big playmaker missing. There was one guy who always kind of runs the mid game, very similar to how Sing functions with the Cupid Red Pandas. Like, you look at the team and you're like, Sing is the guy who kind of makes stuff happen. Well, Scandal is the same thing, but for Empire.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scandal's been playing great pretty much every game. You normally don't see Scandal not shine. Only when he's put in some roles, as you mentioned, where he's not able to. But generally, if you give him a chance to shine, he does. DD are going to take out the Lifestealer and also the Darkseer. And we've actually seen a Darkseer played by Scandal mid quite a few times, and to great effect. He's able to really play that lane well mid with Darkseer. He's able to get the farm he wants. So good bans for them. Gyrocopter out so far for Empire. A wise choice. I put Gyrocopter in my compendium as most picked hero.
10
Yeah.
remaining.
But we'll see how true that comes.
And now it's Empire's decision, like, do they want to ban the Wisp? Do they want to deal with potentially giving it away? The thing is, Empire, at least a couple of their members, are very experienced in playing against a hero. Yeah, they're just going to ban it out instead. I was going to say maybe they could let it through, but yeah, here comes the bat. But they leave the Nyx and the Mag wide open. If you want to even go even further than that, I could say DD might take a Rubik if the Mag is actually picked here, but in the Western scene, Mag, Nyx, Bat Rider, all still very common.
Yeah, I definitely think a Nyx Assassin has to come out for Empire, even if it's just played in a support role. Fantastic versus a Bat Rider and just incredibly powerful. Shines a lot more when it gets early levels. We've seen some people do some interesting stuff with Nyx, not just running it mid, but actually taking it on the safe lane and having their carry farm jungle and then rotating it around level 6. But only a couple of teams have done that recently. But we'll see. We'll see what they're going to come out with Empire here. Taking a little bit of time. Nyx Assassin. Instant first pick.
And not really a surprise. Nyx is unbelievably good against Bat Rider. Just being able to carapace, walk in, disrupt his lasso and 4-step combo, being able to stop him from pulling somebody out is always going to be a big deal. So no real surprise there coming out from Empire. They still got one more. Now the choice comes down to, do they maybe want to pick up a Shadow Demon? Maybe hard counter the Bat pick entirely, give yourself 2 ways of basically escaping that kind of initiation potential. Makes Bat's life a lot harder to really find those openings that he's looking for. And obviously DD are going to be looking for just that. Or do they want to go with a Lone Druid, who is just an overall very stable pick that can do pretty much anything?
Yeah, so Lone Druid's the choice. Now we're going to go back to DD.Dota. What do you think they're considering in this situation?
Well, they see the Lone Druid. Honestly, picking a Shadow Demon at this point probably wouldn't be too bad. It really helps in being able to take down those really beefy heroes like Lone Druid especially. Even if you can just Soul Catcher the Bear when they're sieging, you can focus it down very, very quickly because of the extra damage that it does take. And they already have a Bat Rider, so their ability to isolate heroes would be quite good. I don't think they're going to be showing their carry this early, especially because Lifestealer and Gyrocopter are both banned. Those are 2 that you would probably see in the first 6 more than like any other carries, at least right now. Yep. Sometimes people will pick like an AM on the back end of your first 3, but it's still pretty uncommon. So I'm thinking possibly a support, maybe a Shadow Demon coming out here from DD, but at the very least something that can threaten the Lone Druid because that hero just bears attention basically. No pun intended.
Yeah, well, what threatens a Lone Druid?
Well, it's like Shadow Demon, like I said, just being able to get extra damage on him. He basically is a threat to Lone Druid just because of how much kill potential he can add to any team. So just picking him, even if they get to the second ban phase and they haven't potentially gotten their carry yet or their damage dealer, DD have already banned out the Darkseer, so they can wait until maybe a little later. Maybe they want to go for a TA. Maybe they want to go for somebody who can actually focus him down. But it's still really, really early. The only thing that you can say for sure is that Nyx is probably going to be playing as a support. They do end up picking a support here, but it's going to be a Bane and it's going to be a Luna. So the Bane probably... Maybe they assume that Empire is going to be playing that off-lane Lone Druid. They can sleep the bear, prevent creep bulls, and then put Luna in the safe lane to farm.
Yeah, that's... Bruno put the Lone Druid already on the off-lane.
Yeah.
So yeah, potentially just putting it to sleep to prevent the pulls is also nice. But also later on in Feeble, does help a little bit. Yeah, not overly much, so depends on what stage of... what level the bear is, we'll call it, in terms of as if it powers up. But Luna pickup now, I think we've seen Luna recently play. Team Liquid picked it up in one of their tournaments and did fantastically well with the Luna, just in terms of her hard carry. But still needs, I mean, it's nice with the Eclipse in terms of what it can offer to some early team fights, but not so regularly, and then it really kind of kicks in once if you can get like a Manta and a Butterfly and how the Dominator. So SD is going to be taken away from the pool and taken over to Team Empire before our next set of bans.
Yeah, I like that.
That could mean now that Nyx Assassin and SD are supports.
Yep.
It's a good combination.
That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. I mean, Empire could wait to pick their mid. The thing is, Scandal plays like everything, right? So he can play the Nyx, he can play possibly something else that they want to surprise pick. Way in the past, Empire even picked like OD and stuff like that. So it's way out there, but it's just always on the table for Empire. And DD's going to have to watch out for that. But the nice thing about the Shadow Demon Nyx is that normally you look at a Nyx and you're like, as a support, probably not going to move. But if you have a Shadow Demon, then suddenly he can actually move across the map, maybe go to other lanes to get some kills. So it allows Empire to either make space for the Lone Druid. If they want to put the Lone Druid top now, they can actually get away with doing that because they have supports who can actually rotate. You don't really want to put a Lone Druid top if your supports can't move at all, because then you're like 100% all-inning on your lanes. And if your lone druid doesn't like crush, then it's harder. But this actually gives them the opportunity to be more flexible.
Yeah, and I think it's really good when you have a lone druid to make some movement happen on your map as Team Empire wants. So that SD and Nyx, I would predict as well going support, just to kind of see what they can do before the Bat Rider gets like a blink and really gets involved in the map. Because currently, you know, the kind of fighting potential in the openings that DD.Dota have does kind of rely on the Bat Rider to be able to initiate properly. And if your supports roaming can do a great job for you on Team Empire, if you're just slowing down the Bat Rider, also has a knock-on effect of slowing down the Luna and how safe she is to be able to farm. So we got some more bans coming out. We've actually had Treant Protector from Empire taken away, and I think the bans are really nicely done from DD here. Getting rid of the Weaver is really, really big when you're playing with like a support like Bane. It's a pain in the ass to play against that Weaver, and also Magnus as well, removing a big kind of team ultimate fight.
Well, not only that, but the mag and power on Lone Druid Bear is devastating. Like the Bear's obviously never going to get a BKB, so you empower the Bear, he just beats down a tower, and then you're really, really hard pressed to take a team fight after that. So Keeper of the Light, banned out by Empire. They took out the Treant. He's been seeing more and more played recently. He fits in very niche roles, basically. When he gets his armor up, it kind of helps you win a lane in the early game, maybe saves the trial lane from a potential bad engagement. You know, you get like level 1, level 2 armor, but he's typically a hero who you put in the offlane position. You know, he's not somebody that you would see anywhere else. So by banning that, they are definitely expecting the bat to be mid, like 100%, and they're expecting a safe lane. So that's what that ban says to me. Yeah, so the Alchemist ban, just to take away the combo, Shadow Demon, Nyx, Alch, that's double stun and a lot of damage especially. So they don't want to have to deal with that. And it could also mean that they're expecting an aggressive lane out of Empire, which kind of leads me to believe that Lone Druid will be top, because why else would they ban that? I mean, if they're going to be putting Alchemist in a safe farming position, sure, but then it kind of feels like a waste to the Shadow Demon and the Nyx to not be able to actually get kills. So we'll see what Empire wants to do.
Yeah, I think I would really like to see DD, and we're waiting for one more ban. I think Clockwork would be a great pickup for DD here.
Yeah.
Even if you play it oddly as a support, if you don't go offlane with it. Offlane would be nice, of course, but I just think Clockwork would be a really nice hero in terms of being able to disrupt some of what Team Empire have going for him. So we'll see if that's going to come out. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to throw it in there. Just going to throw it out there, Andy.
The one thing about the Clockwork...
You don't have to do anything with Andy. Just going to throw it out there.
The one thing with the Clockwork that I do actually like is when you pick a Clockwork and he's on your team and you have heroes like Bat and you have Luna, it helps to keep people in place because you have like the Bat Rider, you have the Firefly, you have Eclipse. Now they have a Puck on top of everything else, so they're getting even more initiation. Now, after seeing the Puck pick, maybe DD's lanes start to shift a little bit. Maybe they don't want to put the Bat
Rider jungle?
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about it is that if they do that, then you have this kind of condensed area on the map where there's a high concentration of heroes. So anytime they try to go on you, you can react straight away. And it's not like one of those low health, like not so active junglers, like maybe a Darkseer who doesn't really gank. It's a Bat Rider who, even if he gets level 2 and you start sticky napalming people in Firefly, you can turn around kills. So now does Empire want to go for the aggressive trial lane? Do they want to maybe pick up a really hard carry and just go for farm? Because Luna carries really hard.
Yeah.
So...
And also, Bat Rider, if he is in the jungle, Pug's anyway very hard to kill mid.
Yeah.
But having that Bat Rider, if he's able to kind of back up, the roaming kind of Nyx, Assassin, and Shadow Demon aren't going to be as potent. They're going to be strong on their lane if they're doing a defensive tri-lane, which I expect Team Empire to do in the current situation. But what are you looking from them out of that Pug decision? Do you think they might change up?
Well, what I see is the Puck mid. Like I really can't see him anywhere else.
But, yeah, with Empire, I mean, do you see like a defensive try?
Well, aggressive now, like seeing the Juggernaut, because when you pick the Juggernaut, it's like Shadow Demon, you get the free stun after the disruption into a spin. There's really no counter initiation that DD can actually do against that lane to save somebody, especially if the Shadow Demon is level 2, because then he'll have Soul Catcher, and they can contest the pole however many times they want. They can go for kills. It's almost not impossible, but it's very difficult for DD to play aggressive on that 3-hero combination.
Now, I actually think that they picked the Juggernaut up to do an aggressive tri-lane based off the Puck pick, and I think Puck is now going to go off-lane, Batrider mid, or even, Batrider off-lane, which actually would be a good placement as well, as it just gets moves around. And so Chen's being picked up, so that's going to be the jungler on the safe lane. So still pretty dangerous for DD in the early phases on their lane. Not gonna be easy for that Luna potentially to get what she wants, but she does have huge in terms of just high last hitting capabilities with the damage output. So Team Empire looking for potentially, I still think, a mid hero.
Yeah, they need a mid still. I mean, they could put Lone Druid mid. Scandal's done it before, but I'm leaning more towards something like a Queen of Pain, perhaps, or something to just give him some influence on the map. They could even go with a TA still, if they really wanted to. Because if you look at it, Bat's really the only hero, but it's going to be a Queen. So one of the two. It was pretty obvious at that point. They needed a mid, they needed a high-impact hero, and the choice is going to be Queen of Pain. So the big important thing here, if Empire do aggressively lane, which I feel like they pretty much should. I mean, otherwise it's like you have this amazing kill potential, but you're putting it in the safe farm position. I think they are going to be wanting to go head-to-head right here against DD, but it's game number 1. We'll go over the players really, really fast for Empire. Of course, on the Shadow Demon, we're going to have one of the new acquisitions of Empire being Twista. He's going to be playing that. The Nyx Assassin is going to be played by the second newest member, which is going to be Mitch. You got Scandal returning to middle lane. Going to be quite happy to see him there once again. Light of Heaven going to be playing on that Lone Druid. And of course, last but not least, Boy Your Brain going to be playing on the Juggernaut.
Yeah, and it looks like they're actually going to be doing a safe lane, but over for the team of DD, from left to right, we're going to have Goblak playing the Chen. On Puck is going to be Funzy, who will be mid. On the Batrider will be Shoska, if I can say that properly. On the Bane will be fucking Mad on support. And of course on the Luna, that leaves Silent. So they're dodging. Empire are not going for an aggressive tri-lane. Light of Heaven is just going to have to see if he can get some creeps to his lane. And do you think they were just scared of the impact of the Chen being able to come in and do something on that lane, and just basically fucking Mad, and also Silent just being overly good at just playing defensively?
Honestly, the only reason I can think of that they wouldn't do it is because they're Dire side. And we actually talked about this a couple of days ago, is that when you're Dire side and you run an aggressive tri-lane, it's not the same as if DD were to run an aggressive lane top, because like we're seeing right here, you can pull the big creep camp and contest even more CS and be just a nuisance. So maybe they just didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of basically all ending on that lane, because if you aggressive as Dire and you don't win your lane, then it's a lot harder to really compensate for that. So maybe they just want to play a little bit safe, abuse the healing ward, push maybe a quick tier 1, just send Light of Heaven to the jungle, and he's already making that rotation right now. He's like, yeah, no reason to stay down here, could potentially go down. I feel like Empire still could have won the aggressive lane. That's the thing for me. It's like the Chen would have had to commit so much time to just sitting near the lane that if they didn't get kills, he would fall behind.
Alright, well, we can also see the Batrider, played by Shoska, has actually gone into the jungle, as expected, to play again. No reason to play against a defensive tri-lane. And currently, Light of Heaven, I'm looking for his bear. He's like, nope, I'm just going to jungle as well.
Yeah.
So, super safe game, and you can kind of understand why the two teams in this situation, playing for a tournament that can qualify you into the main event over in Seattle to play for like $1.9 million. You don't want to go in risky. If both teams feel that they can outplay their opponents, you play your game. And if you feel like you are a better team, you should come out on top the majority of the time. There's no reason to put in any kind of risk elements into the laning phase. So we've got a very safe start here.
Honestly, though, this kind of a laning phase, to me, favors DD, because when you have Goblak, who's going to be unobstructed in his jungle, you have a Luna in the bottom lane who's going to be putting points into that aura, you have the potential for very fast tower kills. Even if Silent wants to just stop farm this and hold it for a while, maybe get 6, maybe go for the drum build or whatever build he decides to go for, he's going to have that free farm. And again, a Luna is a harder carry than a Juggernaut, like any day of the week. In the ultra late game, the Luna is going to be much more of a threat. And Chen, he does scale down, but it's not like the end of the world. You can still send people back. You still have that extra damage coming out from penitence and such. So I do think that DD are getting a slight advantage here in the lane.
Well, but interesting enough, Empire are already looking to put as much pressure down on the top lane as possible. This will end up freeing up their supports Blow Your Brain should have a pretty simple time to be able to just farm up by himself. He's not really in any risk at all. And we're asking just for a pause for 30 seconds. But pushing this tower down early, I think is just a great decision for them.
Yeah.
Because this tower bottom for Empire, you know that Godblack wants some levels. You know that Ucking Mad is happy kind of farming. They are going to want to push that tower probably first, but it will be a little bit later. But this just kind of gives some extra gold to the supports. A free a little bit. Maybe they can get something mid happening on Funzy, but really, really difficult because it's a puck. But at the same time, it means that they will be able to protect their towers.
Yeah.
So freeing up those two supports, that's what they were meant to do. The Nyx Assassin and also the SD was being able to roam, and I think this is fine. And I still can't see the Bat Rider might end up, just moving down here now, knowing it's a little bit safer to be able to farm once the creeps are over the river. So. And they've also got to be careful, though, Empire, pushing it down this early and pushing this strong. Bat Rider is going to be really happy with this situation because you just brought so much XP over to Shoska from DD.
Yeah, that's the trade-off.
Yeah, it's like you get the tower gold, you free up your supports a bit, but also that Bat Rider could be very pleased with the situation himself.
Yeah, he's going to be really happy with this. Sakshka going to be able to get probably level 3, maybe even close to level 4 off of this, so he's going to get much closer to 6 very, very quickly than even Light of Heaven will, considering he's just jungling, and Lone Druid jungle is not the fastest in the entire world, at least until he gets some items up. So right now, Empire, they've basically made a statement. They're saying, we're going to take this tower very, very quick. We know that we're the ones who have to actually try and do something because your safe lane is going to get more out of farming than our safe lane will. And we can see how much money Silent already has. He hasn't really pressured the tower much. He's sitting at 24 and 13 CS, which is also important to note. When you push a lane that hard, you're not getting as much farm because you're just going to inherently miss some CS because the supports rotate over and such. So it's not huge, but it's something.
And also, Luna's getting all the kind of solo XP for a little while now. You can see level 5, and actually Puck mid just hit level 5 as well. So I'm not sure what Empire want to do with the situation because, like as you mentioned, pushing that tower early, it can be really good for freeing up the supports. The trade-off is sometimes the offlaner can come back in and get the farm. Sometimes it's better to wait until you have a bit more levels and be able to push tier 1 and tier 2. And we already see quite a bit of levels and quite a bit of damage on the team of DD as they push down the tier 1 bottom, even with just a level 4 Chen. Decent enough on the amount of creeps, and they might be able to put some pressure on the tier 2 tower as well. So
yeah,
despite being a later tower, could it actually be better? And also, we haven't seen much from Empire's supports, just being able to kind of rotate around and help out. They are moving. Actually, Funzy's having a bit of a fight mid. Scandal's going to pop haste.
Yeah, Scandal overplaying a little bit. He will be able to live, though. Of course, like I said, he does have that haste rune. And he's got quite a bit of mana and HP, but I think Funzy's going to be fine for the moment. So Scandal playing his typical style, just hyper-aggressive. When he sees an opportunity for a kill, he pretty much goes for it every single time. And the nice thing is, when you're Queen of Pain, is that you can actually get away with doing that sometimes, because you have that mobility from the blink and whatnot. And Blow Your Brain, he's going to get stickied up here. Needs to be careful. Sakshka should be able to get out of range of this. He's still got 4 stacks. Is he going to be able to get 5? No, he mistimes it. And unfortunately doesn't get the extra stack on. So he might have actually been able to get a kill, honestly. The next Napalm landed root onto poor Silent here in this bottom lane. And Silent's actually opted to go for Quick Tread, so he's not going for the Midas. He didn't decide to go for Tranquils. It's probably going to be the standard Helm of the Dominator Power Treads build. Try to farm the jungle very, very fast and just go for that beefy late game Luna build.
Yeah, and now that DD have pushed their tier 1 as well, but not being able to achieve anything on the tier 2 tower, they've also made the offlaner Light of Heaven very happy for Empire, as similar as Shoxka was. And the supports that are getting the best out of the situation are DD.Dota. They've been farming more in the jungle, obviously you'd expect that with the Chen, so DD have a little bit on the on Empire. If you look at the levels, it's level 4 and level 5 for Chen. Yeah, really high level for Chen, and level 4 for Bane, and then the supports of Empire are level 3 and 3. So DD getting the best of the kind of tower trades in the situation.
Yeah, I see some dewarding also done by the side of Empire. So Right now, Bat, I mean, still getting full experience. This is a really, really big deal. I think Light of Heaven is actually ahead of him right now,
Yep.
which is
Yeah,
pretty
he is.
surprising considering the circumstances, like Sakshka.
Bottom River.
Bottom River. Oh, yeah, that's going to be the first blood. Twista actually picks up the kill on Bucking Mad. Double coil coming out from Funzy. We'll see if Godlike wants to try to pursue this. Here comes the Eclipse, actually hitting mostly the Bear. Scandal, though, going to overextend just a tiny bit. Twista could be in some trouble himself. It's currently a 1-for-1 trade. Blow Your Brain now joining the fight here. He does not have mana. Yeah, he doesn't have mana for Omni Slash, but he could spin if he really wants to try to go for this. But at the end of the day, decides to turn around. So first blood going to Twista, but DD pay 1 back and kill Scandal, which is a pretty high priority target.
Yeah, DD still got the better of that situation. You can see Ucking Mad as well, we're calling him from now on, actually went mid lane and just picked up some farm, so he's on his way to level 5. Kill on the Bear, nice bit of gold for the Luna, played by Silent, but just generally the kill that they also had on the Queen of Pain was pretty big. So DD definitely getting the better of this exchange. We should check on some of the gold. You see Shocksha actually up to 858 on the bottom lane. Blow Your Brain also came mid as well. I don't know, I think he might have TP'd and got absolutely nothing out of the situation.
Yeah.
One of the kind of disappointing factors of that last team fight was Funzy. Despite hitting a Dream Coil, his level 3 Illusionary Orb hit nothing.
Yeah.
So there was no follow-up damage to come in. Scandal's going to be playing a risky game here, but Twister's going to come in.
Yeah, I got the Soul Catcher off. Scandal actually taking a huge amount of burst damage. Very nicely timed right there. Bucking Mad and Godblack managing to take him down, and Silent sealing the deal with a long-distance Lucent Beam. So the triple nuke potential, I don't think he was expecting to die quite that fast.
No, I don't think he was either. You don't expect, being a mid player on Queen of Pain, despite giving away 1 kill, you're pretty high-leveled compared to most of your opponents.
Yeah.
But to give that away, DD in a really good situation. Twister just going to wait mid. Scandal's going to rejoin him. Just checking on Lighter Heaven right, as well. He's actually catching up in CS. He's up to 41, so not far behind his Juggernaut, and also catching up on the Luna. He's got a Hand of Midas on the Bear as well, and that's going to be very important to note. So getting the most out of his lane and situation when he went to jungle.
I like the Midas choice too, because even though DD has managed to push into that tier 1, we talked a little bit earlier about how difficult it is to go to the tier 2, especially at such an early stage in the game. And by the time DD really try to force a big fight, he's going to be ready anyway. I mean, if he gets the armlet up, the Midas attack speed in itself helps because you can get more entangle procs, and it gets you more levels to where the point that you can just get points into Rabid and you can get your synergy maxed out, which is more health, of course, more damage and movement speed for the bears. So level is actually very important
if you look
on a lone druid.
Yeah, but if you just look at levels overall as well, if we just bring up the level tab, look how much in favor that is of DD. This is when I feel that they're only waiting for a Blink Dagger, if possible, to get it on their Bat Rider, and then they're going to want to start taking team fights. And he's 650 gold away. He hasn't got long to late. They've actually got a smoke up because Ucking Mad actually hit level 6 not long ago, so Fiend's Grip is ready. Not sure they're going to get anything out of this. He's actually dinging top. They might be looking just to go get a solo kill on Blow Your Brain. He's actually just popped a healing ward to keep himself as healthy as possible. He's actually going for drums as well. But this could be a kill. This could be dangerous. In comes the Fiend's Grip, and in comes the lasso. That's going to be a kill, and that's a very, very good kill.
Oh, maybe not just yet. The healing ward's still down. The disruption is there. Blow Your Brain actually going to live through this, and he gets the Omni off. All 3 hits hit on Sakshka, but Blow Your Brain might have overextended a bit. The healing ward still keeping him alive. It just fades at the last second, and 2 kills going the way of Empire. Twista, really nice timing on that disruption.
Yeah, I did not see that being a saving grace situation. I personally felt that was it Shoska on the Bat Rider probably just could have gone in and just done as maximum amount of damage as possible. But you can't predict how fast Twister was going to be ready in position and to save, and also the healing ward still being up. So DD very disappointed with how that situation went. Empire going to hold on to a really nice kind of being able to stop the gank, and that's a big turnaround for them. And it was Shoska that died, I believe.
Yeah, they both
in that
died.
fight. Yeah, so both died, and so that's going to set him back a little bit on the Blink Dagger. So I guess they wanted to get, if they had that kill, they would have got that kill, probably got the Blink Dagger, and then they would have been an absolute menace mid
Yeah.
with that Blink Dagger. So now they're going to still try and push mid a little bit, put some pressure down, but they're no way as dangerous as they could have been. Funzy, though, does have invisibility.
Yeah, it was
Level
looking for
1
potentially a
Dream
kill. I'm not sure about this. Like, this kind of aggression so far coming out of DD, yeah, they got the Chen heal, but I don't know after that, like after seeing Twista's reaction, whenever they do that, this is why I mentioned the Shadow Demon pick in the draft phase. When you have two heroes that just hard counter bat, like the Nyx and the Shadow Demon together, when can Sakshika really ever find an opening without getting punished? I mean, he died there because he walked away from the creep wave and he got hit by all three ticks of Omni, which is like a little unfortunate, but at the end of the day, they still wouldn't have gotten the kill no matter what. So mech actually done on Goblak, so it's only 12 minutes in. They have the Chen heal. They have the mech. If they want to try to force the issue, they definitely can. They have pretty much everything up outside of that elusive Blink Dagger.
They're so close, though, to their 2 Blink Daggers on Shoska and also on Funzy, the puck. So I know we're kind of focusing on DD here a little bit in terms of what we're talking about, but they're the ones that are looking to try and make plays with their higher levels. You know, with the Chen to be able to just be like, you got yeah, Hand of God plus your mech. You should win every team fight if you get the initiation your way.
Yeah.
The SD can be a menace, but especially when the Bear Light of Heaven gets a Midas first pickup, you want to take advantage of that, and that's why we're focusing on DD. It's really their time to make a move. Blow Your Brain is going to come in to defend. Level 2 healing ward, but that tower's taking a pretty decent amount of damage, and they are going to be looking to finish it off here. And there's the Blink Dagger, and it's Blow Your Brain that's going to get the worst of it. Twister out of position there. Fiend's Grip on Scandal, as well as a Dream Coil. Finally, a disruption comes in. Is Scandal going to be able to get out? And looks like he will be able to almost survive this. Yeah, he should be able to survive. He's going to get chased by the Bat Rider, but should be able to get away. But that's what they wanted. They wanted that a little bit earlier. They got set back, DD, but they got what they wanted. So they're playing everything their way right now.
And this is such a strong push, too, especially considering the mech and the Hand of God weren't even used. Or, excuse me, the mech was, but the Hand of God wasn't. So, in 15 more seconds, they're going to have a second mech. They have the Luna Aura. They just have no intention of backing right here. Scandal doesn't open. Oh, man, Twista! Just gets exploded. Mitch going to be in some trouble as well. Gets netted underneath the tower. Pops the carapace. Tower kill goes to Silent. And DD, they are just asserting their dominance right now in this early to mid-game stage. It's only 14 minutes in. Yeah, Silent TP's away. They go towards bottom, actually, and they're going to be able to chase away Light of Heaven, who is working away at that tier 1.
Yeah, Ucking Mad was actually just trying... He went down first, and he was trying to get a level 1 Nightmare onto Light of Heaven and have his team kind of backing up. But 2 towers, you stopped Blow Your Brain from farming. He got killed in that situation as well. You took out Twister. You forced Scandal out. Like, Scandal's level 8 now. We go check the levels again. You can see Puck getting a little bit further ahead, but all the way at the top is Luna at level 10, having a great game, 191 CS. So, Empire, what do they do from this situation, Andy? You know, top lane is just farm for you right now. Like, top lane, you can have someone out there you can farm. They're converging mid a little bit to at least show some presence on the map to maybe just be able to get Light of Heaven getting the farm along bottom, but where do you go in this situation? Because it feels like Light of Heaven is going to be relied on massively. Like, almost too much so in this game.
He will be. He's going to be incredibly important. And he's actually got phase on himself and the bear, and he's, or excuse me, no, he's
actually
switching.
getting attacked.
Okay, never mind. He just switched.
Sorry.
Yeah, Twista gonna get nightmared up here. Gonna eat the Lucent Beam. The net's gonna be there as well. So give another kill to DD. But Light of Heaven, like you said, is gonna be incredibly important because he's the only hero who can actually stand on the front lines of Empire. If you look at their lineup, 4 pretty squishy heroes. Even the Juggernaut, Magic Immunity aside, the Luna Aura doesn't discriminate against Magic Immunity. You're still gonna get auto attack down, basically. And Spin isn't that threatening when you have Mech. When you have Hand of God, of course we can see the Lunar Blessing level 4, so 38 bonus damage to every hero basically who's in the area. It's going to be a free Roshan for DD. This is something that we actually haven't seen in a while, and it's the Luna and the Chen combination together. I think people have kind of forgotten how potent that 5-man can be at such an early phase, especially when you partner it with the initiation potential of a hero like Puck.
Yeah, and we should go check over with Mitch. He's having a real problem this game, not because he's playing bad. It's just like, what can he do? Like the whole time DD have been kind of roaming as 5, pushing a tower as soon as they got their Blink Daggers. Mitch has not been available to do anything. Only now do they find one alone. And it's It's Funzy bottom lane. Is he going to open up with a stun instead of Vendetta just to guarantee the damage? And that is a great kind of pick off for Empire. Well needed. They're going to get some damage on the tier 2 tower. Certainly won't or shouldn't be going down. But it's good. They find a pick off. And Mitch played that nicely because he was already rotating down there. Just like, someone is going to farm here. We should do something. Didn't choose to use the Vendetta. Pulled a Jarax, but in a more skillful way.
I like that, pulling a Jarax. Maybe we should just think of people who have done things like that on any hero and just refer to it as that from now on. But
the kid will go into therapy, man. Leave him alone. Light of Heaven bottom lane could be getting this tower.
yeah, he's going to be pushing up here, but bucking Mad's here. Tower's going to be dropping. And unfortunately, this poor Bane's all alone, so there wasn't really much he could do about it. But when the armlet's done on the bear, there's going to become this one stage of the game where Empire's going to actually feel tanky enough to actually take an engagement. Because if you think about the effective health of Empire's, or DD's lineup, it's like, yeah, it's really difficult to deal with. We could see the giant ancient stack over here that's being done by DD. So this is even more money. We talked about the Helm of the Dominator and how they were probably going to be going for like the stack, we're going to sit on our side of the map and farm kind of style, but they're doing it so effectively because they've already gotten every single tier, or well, the two that matter in terms of Roshan, mid and bottom. The tier 1 top for Empire still stands, but when you get those down, it's like much harder to react.
And this should be, we're going to see DD once again turn into that 5-man kind of push, I feel. I think it's a great option to put some pressure on the tier 1 top. They've actually got the majority of their team mids. They're only up top with a couple of players right now. We've got Silent there, who's just picked up a Mithril Hammer. Like he just didn't want to go Manta, just decides, nope, I'm going straight for BKB.
Yeah, seems
Not sure, yeah. And the rotation will come in now, so it is going to be a top push. They're looking to get the tier 1 and the tier 2. Silent will get the last hit on the Luna, and the recipe for BKB has been picked up. Now, deciding to skip the Manta, I know we're going to have a team fight soon, so maybe we can talk about it, and it looks like Empire might just look to trade rather than defend, but deciding to skip the Manta and go straight for BKB, did you feel it's necessary? Because
well, if you think about
Manta would have been great.
Like the Queen of Pain burst damage and the Nyx burst damage are the two biggest threats. Omni is, yeah, it's kind of dangerous. Spin is kind of dangerous. But if you eliminate the possibility of getting bursted out of the fight, if you're Silent, you guarantee the fact that you can use your Eclipse, then your push is like a lot stronger than if you just had a Manta. The Manta gives you some survivability, but what is he going to Manta aside from a root, basically, from Empire? And if he gets rooted, the physical damage alone is not going to be enough. Blow your brain! Gonna get caught up by Sakshka once again, gets bursted down incredibly fast, and a blink in from Funzy. Manages to silence Twisted, but Funzy actually going to be dying himself, so it's a 1-for-1 immediate buyback actually from Blow Your Brain. He might be dropping twice here. Silent so far behind enemy lines, he will end up securing the kill on Twista. Actually turns around to attack the healing ward, but
they're going to come in and try and save him.
yeah, they
There's
could.
the flame break.
Very nice flame break, but yeah, the Omni's going to be there and Silent. There is just no way the rest of his team can help him out. So a little bit of an overextension coming out of DD. We saw this in the previous best of 3 between Rox, Kiss, and AL. It's like when you have that window where you're your strongest, you don't want that to happen. You don't want somebody getting so overconfident that they die by tier 4s.
Yeah. Can we just also mention that if you just click on the Luna, Silent, you can see the BKB's done, but still in stash.
Yeah.
He did not need his BKB, which he blatantly really wanted and really needed. But still, DD have taken control of the map. I like Empire's exchange though. Empire were like, we can't defend tier 2 top, we're going to get tier 1 mid. And that's a great tower to pick up because that will at least allow a little bit more freedom for the Lone Druid and some of their players that need to farm the jungle, their jungle if they need to. So DD definitely have, if you're a DD fan now, they've got my vote to be able to pick up this game. I think that's pretty safe to say, but Empire, a very smart team. If they're able to kind of control the map, still pick up their farm, we'll have to see how powerful they could get with this Lone Druid.
Well, Light of Heaven's actually been doing a really nice job. He's actually the second highest net worth in the game, and that was with a defensive tri-lane juggernaut. If you look at the net worth, he is actually below the off-lane Batrider on the side of DD. So that just goes to show how well DD's been playing in terms of picking him off mid. He died. He just got pulled in, had to buy back, almost died twice. I mean, Blow Your Brain has nothing right now, and Vlad's actually picked up on Godblack as well. So the next push that DD want to put together is going to be even harder to stop than the last one.
Yeah, and they've got 20 seconds left on Eclipse. You do want that if you're going to, extend into the base. So they're probably going to pick up some farm, but they are in position to make another attack on the tier 3 tower and potentially the Rax top. Light of Heaven, currently farming bottom, is going to be pulled back. They also had a gem on Ucking Mad, so he's actually just going to drop a ward inside the base. We've got 2 tornadoes down from Goblak playing the Chen. Bear comes out, decides not a good idea. And this tower is going to take a huge amount of damage. Mitch coming out to do some damage, but it is actually going to be Scandal with the BKB to go in, but that ultimate completely nullified.
Yeah, Scandal actually getting Fiend's Grip through his BKB. Light of Heaven still quite low at the moment. Mitch currently just bathing in fire with the rest of his team, and the first one to go down is actually going to be Mitch. It looks like Light of Heaven actually dropped straight after that inside of the base. Sakshka is completely man-boating buyback from Light of Heaven. They want to try to defend these racks right now. The double tornadoes coming up from the Wildkin, just so unbelievably annoying, and they want to try to re-engage, but the Bear once again getting enfeebled, not doing quite as much damage as they want to. Boy, your brain getting bursted so hard, walks casually into a waning wrist, spins, still up, Omni Slash still up, the melee racks ends up going down, make it a double rack, so the entire top lane is dead right now for Empire. And boy, your brain just not having a good game at all. He has been a non-factor.
I mean, what can you do? Like, you've got Omni Slash, and you think, yeah, it's a really cool ultimate, right? But you can't use it to initiate a fight. That's not what it's there for. You're meant to be able to run in, be able to put some right-click damage down, as actually Goblak is going to get chased and probably die.
Yeah.
But you're meant to be able to go in and do some damage. Not just go in and have to instantly Blade Fury, but just against the team that he's up against with his items, he kind of has to run in and Blade Fury.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he's instantly dead. And you're not going to kill anything. Like, we even saw Scandal, who's got level 2 ultimate, come in and hit a pretty decent Sonic Wave.
Yeah, that was good.
Completely nullified from a mech, from a Hand of God. What do you think Blade Fury is going to do? Nothing's going to drop you. Omni Slash is going to be useless in that team fight. So if they can't get farm and blow your brain, he's going to be a big non-factor this game. And I think DD know this, and that's why they've been so aggressive in just taking the towers as a 5-man team. And also, I kind of expect him in the situation to kind of take the next Roshan, which could be the riskiest fight they will have this whole game. But I don't feel they need to be able to do a similar kind of push.
No, I don't either. Like, DD, the thing is, their team composition is actually great against Juggernaut, because there's so many random things that you could Omni to, especially Chen creeps.
Yep.
And then you have a Puck who you basically can't Omni at all. You can get Fiend Script if you're out of position. We saw Scandal actually getting Fiend Script the last fight. But the thing is, I said that Empire were going to do an aggressive lane because of this. Because when you pick a Juggernaut, a Shadow Demon, and a Nyx, that lane is incredibly powerful, but they didn't do anything with it. They put it in the safe lane, they got some farm, and then it's like you were saying, the mech and the Hand of God offset all the damage that he could potentially do. So the reason that you wanted to pick the Juggernaut was to crush the laning phase, and they couldn't accomplish that because of how they laned.
Yeah, exactly. And the supports of DD, we mentioned a little bit earlier, got higher levels and more farm out of their lane. The Nyx and the Shadow Demon, played by Mitch and Twister, just because of that defensive laning position they were put in, were a pretty, they were at a disadvantage from the get-go. So Empire are playing from behind, but they are going to try and smoke to see if they can make something happen. We actually have Goblak pretty far away, but of course that Hand of God is going to be kind of omnipresent. If you
He's
can
level
call it
12, man, and now he has drums too. I mean, Goblak is rich, even for a Chen. Chen, typically you get that mech, the arcanes, and then you fight, but he's actually just gone for every support item that you can possibly buy. So now his team has drums, they have the damage and the life stealer from the lads. Oh man, Twista and Blow Your Brain both getting caught out. Blow Your Brain once again just dies without using a single ability. Another buyback coming out of him. He will never be able to finish another item. Twista gonna get stuck all by himself against Sakshka. He's gonna be the next to fall. Coil coming out from Funzy, manages to hit 2. Blow Your Brain back in the fight, does manage to spin silent. BKB pop, just hitting away. There is no damage output on the side of Empire. They simply can't finish anyone off. Omni finally comes out. Sakshka, though, quite low, not quite out of the fight. Blow Your Brain trying to run back to the base, gets the Lucent Beam, will end up dropping actually to Funzy, and now Scandal gets 1 kill. He manages to pick off Sakshka as Bucking Mad gets a killing spree of his own on Light of Heaven. The tier 2 drops with a buyback. That was basically a 6 versus 5, and DD win with only losing 1 hero.
Yep. Yeah, it's Mech's up in 10 seconds. They've got that Manta style now, which is what I thought they were maybe going to go for on Silent, playing the Luna a little bit earlier. But the pushing power that he has is just insane. And also, even the damage output, if he just connects with those illusions and himself on a hero, is just... it's huge right now. He's hitting for about 250 per hit on his main character. So Mitch going to come in, going to land a stun on Hacking Mad. They are going to pick up another kill. Rax will go down, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty early GG compared to the other games here in our second semi-finals.
Oh man,
and
such
DD
great
will
play
be
though.
cleaning this one up. And Empire, yeah, like, should have been an offensive tri-lane, and I agree with you.
Yeah, it really did hurt them. I'm not saying that's like the sole reason they lost, but if you think about it, Juggernaut is not really good against 5-man push. Like, he's just not. He's good at pushing, but he's not good at fighting against push. So when they decided to dodge that lane, they basically said to themselves, okay, we're going to go for the fast tower. I think in that sense, they made the right call. They had to kill that tower fast, but then they're like, where do we go?
I think they should have smoked and actually gone round and done something to the lane when, you know, when... sorry, with the Bat Rider, Shoska was doing something, because that was the whole point of freeing up those supports. Get kills.
Yeah.
You look at Puck and you're like, well, okay, maybe not, but you look at a Bat Rider without a blink.
Yeah.
You can make something happen in that situation. So they just didn't, you know, they didn't use any kind of time. So it was kind of a non-factor, the supports, unfortunately, which... yeah, DD played it great, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree. DD, they knew exactly what they had to do. They systematically took over the map, to me. Like, they took the mid-tier 1. They even pushed the tier 2.
Yep.
Like, pretty quick inside the game. They managed to get the tier 1, obviously, quite a while before that. And then they just took Roshan. They're like, yeah, there's no way they can actually fight us, even with that very aggressive base dive in the top lane. It just simply didn't matter. Bully Brain was like 0-5 or 0-6 that game. He bought back, what, 2 or 3 times? He had phase and drums in a 28-minute game. That might be the poorest I've ever seen him.
Yeah. Phase, drums, and he also had a, was it
Poor man shield? Yeah, ironically, yeah, poor man shield.
He got gifted that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he went 0-6. But overall, solid play from every member of DD.Dota.
Yep.
They all played their roles perfectly.
Yep.
In terms of just what they needed to do. No kind of, you can't say anything about how, you know, that kind of matchup. What Empire are going to bring to game 2, who knows? But they need to bring a smarter game.
Yeah.
That's for sure. They need to bring a game that plays out a lot closer in the early stages, so Scandal can shine, because that's when he does. When the game's even and Scandal can outplay people, he outplays people. But what can you can't outplay anything in that situation. You're like a Queen of Pain. You're like, I've got loads of damage. Oh wait, Chen mech. And Chen ultimate heal. So anyway, let's go to the analyst desk and let you guys just reiterate what we said, because we nailed it, right?
We're good.
No, probably not. How's it going, Bruno and Webpres?
We're doing great. I think they did a pretty good analysis in general. I
Yeah.
agree with most of the points, but I want to give you the first word. Like, I want to hear your opinions on this game.
Well, it kind of felt like watching when LGD International was on their high when they came in. It was
Yeah.
just like control through the whole game and just like didn't ever really let go. They just kept that control during the whole game and just kept them pushing. So just great play by DD overall and good drafting.
And there's one thing that I I particularly didn't like about this game, or actually the way Empire played this game. Like, I'm gonna, this is an exam, James. I'm gonna ask you. You know, there are 6 towers, 6 tier 1 towers in the game. The 3 from Dire and the 3 from Radiant. Which one is the least important tower of the 6?
Least important tower,
Yeah.
tier 1. For Empire.
In general, out of the 6.
know.
That's hard. Like,
Webus is like,
And
I know.
I think I know, but
it's
I'm not sure.
it's either Dire bottom or Dire top. I think Dire top. I'll say. No, wait. I know. I'm gonna call the I'm gonna call Radiant tier 1 top.
Radiant tier 1 top. Why?
Because it's the furthest away. When you TP into it, you know.
Pretty much, of course, I mean, mid towers are really important.
It doesn't-
They give you access to Roshan.
Yeah.
Yep.
They give you control of the jungle. the tier 1s from your safe lanes are really important because they give you control of your jungle.
Yeah, jungle, yeah. That's
So
why I
these two
changed it.
towers are quite useless, but this tower is closer to Roshan,
Yeah,
so it's
Did
it's
I
like,
pass?
So you passed the test.
You did it,
were
man.
right.
It took you a while. I was a little bit worried for a moment, but you
Well,
got it.
yeah, I had to systematically analyze and break down because no one's asked me that question before, and I don't think that way.
But I mean, the thing that happened is that they went straight here. They pushed this tower, which DD said like, okay, we're not losing much. What are we losing? Like control of the secret shop? There's not much there, really.
Ancient kind of, but it's.
And
still
then
good.
they suddenly rotated their supports and tried to make something happen. So suddenly the Bad Rider has his lane pushed next to
Yeah.
him. It's much safer. They're not accomplishing anything. Yeah, they got 1,000 gold, which is nice. But that's it. Like if you are going to push and you stop there, then you are pretty much
Yeah.
doing yourself a disservice.
I mean, I spoke to Singh, and he said like basically like one of the points I wanted to bring up was when they push that tower, it's great because they get the farm, but it's sometimes better. This is what Singh told me. It's sometimes better to wait until you have for 7 minutes until you get certain levels. So not only do you push tier 1, you can go to tier 2 because when you open up that lane, you want to shut down the support by saying we're taking your tier 1 and we're taking your tier 2. You shut down the lane, and it's like, and if you want to go back there, it's quite easy because no one can TP to the tier 2. So if you smoke gank through the secret shop way, it's hard to react to that. And the lane's only really available on your terms. By taking it too early, the off laner actually has somewhere he can play around with. So maybe too early to take the tower.
Exactly.
But I felt like they wanted to do that just because of their type of supports. They wanted to roam and do something, but they didn't achieve.
Just exactly.
Aggressive tri-lane. Sorry.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Do we both agree? Did I
Yeah.
pass the test?
You passed the test
did I
with
get? What
like
kinda-
flying
High five,
scores.
James.
High five.
There you go. Okay, so that's it for us, and I think we'll be taking a small break.
I don't think I think we could kind of catch up. I feel like if you're ready to go into game
Yeah,
2, we
good.
should just go in because we're a little bit delayed.
There's
so-
one thing that I have to talk to Scriff first before you actually can start game 2. So
Okay,
We
so
can not do a break.
Let's not do a break. Go to brackets. You talk to Scriff.
Yes.
Come back and play Dota.
Great.
Okay,
like that
so
one.
we're going to brackets, guys. It's currently 1-0 in DD's favor. If they win this, they'll be playing AL next. But of course, Empire have to win 2 in a row. You can take a look at this on the bracket while we go all silent and mysterious.